Hi, everyone. Welcome to Google Cloud's Data and Analytics Product Roadmap session. We are excited to show you a sneak peek of what our bright and talented engineering teams at Google have been up to across the data and analytics portfolio. We're going to talk about what's coming in the next 6 months. Today is a jam-packed session with over 100 different innovations. I'm Geeta Banda, Head of Outbound Product Management at Google. Today, I'll be joined by some of our amazing and talented product leaders to talk through our roadmap. Here is the agenda for today. Let's start with what is shaping our product strategy. We are now in a new era. It is defined by AI that is multimodal, understanding not just text, but images, video, and audio. It's defined by agentic workflows where AI transitions from a simple assistant to an autonomous partner that can reason and act. And critically, underpinning it all is the mandate for responsible AI, building AI and agents on a foundation of trust, governance, and safety is the only way to succeed. This is the future, and the mandate is really clear. Every company must become an AI-powered company to compete and innovate, and the potential is limitless. But the reality is that AI is not useful without AI-ready data. You can't build a reliable AI future on a data chaos. 70% of organizations are struggling with the very unification and governance needed for AI. Second, 80% of your most valuable data is unstructured and untapped. These challenges manifest as critical business pains, and finding the talent to scale these initiatives is a constant battle. This is the reality gap we are here to solve. But when you solve the data foundation, the results are transformative. This isn't theoretical. Our customers are seeing incredible, tangible outcomes today. Some examples. L'Oreal is more than doubling its return on ad spend. In operations, Vodafone slashed its data ingestion time by 36 hours down to just about 25 minutes. In finance, we have Lloyds Bank cut the time it takes to classify transactions by 50%. And in supply chain, Unilever is realizing 100 million in sourcing savings by using real-time data to optimize inventory and logistics. This is what happens when your data platform directly fuels your AI ambitions. And all of the work that we did this year and last year led to Google being named as a leader once again and positioned furthest in vision by Gartner. Our data and AI cloud is recognized as a leader across several other Tier 1 analyst reports, including Gartner and Forrester. So our roadmap is informed by your feedback. We love hearing customer feedback, whether that's our customer councils, surveys, or one-on-one meetings. They've taken everything we've heard from you and leveraged that to design our roadmap. So with the feedback and the trends, these are our key investment areas this year. First, our continued commitment on making BigQuery a foundational data platform for building and scaling AI from traditional machine learning to Gen AI agents. Second, we're fully embracing and accelerating the open ecosystem. We've heard from you, and you want to embrace open formats like Iceberg and Parquet and leverage the best of open source technologies like Spark. Third, we're supercharging our data science by removing friction and accelerating the journey with AI. Fourth, agentic capabilities to unlock the power of data in entirely new ways. We're embedding AI directly into the platform to transform the end-to-end data lifecycle. And finally, our continued focus on security, governance, and streaming. These investment areas represent our core commitment. They work together to provide the most powerful and efficient foundation for your AI-driven innovations on Google Cloud. Let's dive into each one of these pillars to learn more about our roadmap. Over to you, Niraja.
Thanks, Geeta. Hi, everyone. My name is Neeraja Chintala. I lead the product management for BigQuery and our data agents. I'll be kicking off the roadmap session by talking about the BigQuery core analytics area. In the BigQuery core analytics, we have roadmap across the stack. We are working on the multimodal data foundations, the processing capabilities. We are continuing to invest in performance as well as price performance. We are expanding on what kind of analytics you can do with BigQuery, as well as continuing to improve our user experience and making it easy for you to manage BigQuery at scale. We are working on making unstructured data as a first-class citizen in BigQuery. With BigQuery Object Ref, you can enable, now you can process unstructured data such as text, speech, audio, video, and combine it with structured data that is present in BigQuery. You can run SQL processing, you can do Python on this multimodal data, including ability to apply BigQuery native AI functions to get multimodal insights. Customers are using these capabilities, for example, Entity 360 views, where you can do customer 360, such as combining telemetry data with support calls and customer reviews. Earlier this year, we launched continuous queries in general availability. Since then, we have customers scale up SQL processing on real-time data across a number of use cases, processing events in real time, building pipelines, performing LLM inferences, as well as reverse ETL use cases back to operational systems like Spanner. One of your key requests have been to provide join aggregation support for richer analysis. To address these needs, we are soon launching stateful processing in continuous queries. This is going to be preview in Q4. As I mentioned, we are continuing to improve performance as well as price performance. The recently launched advanced runtime is a fundamental modernization of BigQuery's core compute engine. Its biggest benefits come from two features: enhanced vectorization as well as short query optimizations. With enhanced vectorization, you can accelerate queries regardless of whether they're short or long running. You don't have to do anything as a customer. Eligible queries just run faster. In our fleet data, we see up to 200 times better performance and up to 40x overall slot time reduction. In a more general way, eligible queries see 30% latency reduction and up to 10% reduction in slot usage on a per query basis. We are also improving short queries, queries that take around like a second or less, processing small amounts of data, which are typical in dashboarding applications. So advanced runtime is available at no additional cost. We are also excited about another performance acceleration feature, CMeta, which is column metadata indexing. It works by indexing tables metadata, including data location, column level attributes. It maintains metadata index for each eligible table, then the background jobs refresh the metadata index in a periodic fashion. So this speeds up performance on large tables, large data sets. So it works with BigQuery native tables, Big Lake tables, search index, as well as BI engine. Another capability is fine-grained DML. So this is a performance enhancement designed to optimize execution of statements such as updates, deletes, merges. So these are referred as mutating DML statements. So without fine-grained DML, mutations are performed at a file group level, which can lead to inefficiencies. With fine-grained DML, we have made fundamental improvements in underlying infrastructure to collect fine-grained metadata and introduced a much more efficient and granular processing, which can reduce the overall slot consumption and makes the overall processing efficient. We are improving BigQuery Studio, which is our out-of-the-box analytics experience. In Q4, we are launching a modernized BigQuery Studio experience with a simplified and organized console interface to streamline workflows, improve productivity with decluttered UI, and avoid context switching. And we are also adding code management capabilities with better code organization, sharing of code assets, as well as new repository integration to support local and remote Git-based workflows. We're also continuously simplifying BigQuery to make it easier to manage at scale. Some of the new features, soft failover. This is a recently generally available feature. This allows you to test cross-region failover capabilities. Reservation groups, you have now more control on idle slots. And query performance comparison, which is a new tool that makes it easier to troubleshoot query performance issues by providing a side-by-side comparison of various job runs. In addition, we are improving the processing capabilities on BigQuery. So BigQuery offers today a scalable Python experience through BigQuery data frames. It's called Big Frames. We now partnered with dbt to integrate this library. This allows dbt BigQuery users to create Python models without additional infrastructure setup and seamlessly combine it with SQL models. This integration is generally available in dbt Core, dbt Cloud, and we are working with the dbt team to bring it into dbt Fusion. Also, for customers looking to expand SQL capabilities with Python-based user-defined functions, now we have it in public preview. It is targeted for GA in Q1 2026. These UDFs offer a completely serverless experience and automatically scale according to the datasets. We are also improving geospatial capabilities. We have significantly invested in these. This includes new support for raster data processing in BigQuery, and it's complete with built-in geo-visualization right in BQ Studio. We also enhanced Analytics Hub with unique data sets like places data, Google Street View imagery, as well as the road management data. So you can combine these data sets with the data that you have in BigQuery. Moving on to Lakehouse. A key focus area for us is Lakehouse. We are doubling down on Iceberg as the standard to offer best Iceberg support across our platform and offer interoperability so you can use the best tool for your workloads. We are creating a single unified plane where all your data, whether it is structured in BigQuery, your open formats like Apache Iceberg, or any diverse data sets that are scattered throughout the enterprise. As you can see here at the very bottom, we are bringing our experience of managing exabytes of data to provide a differentiated enterprise grade storage capabilities to Iceberg. On top of it, BigLake provides runtime metadata management and offers interoperability for all Iceberg data through BigLake Metastore. And at the query layer, we are treating Iceberg as a native format. So we are bringing BigQuery's advanced analytics capabilities to Iceberg. We are bringing Spark processing to Iceberg and seamlessly integrating Iceberg across our operational databases such as LIDB. Our Lakehouse priorities, we have an ambitious roadmap. Our goal is to bring the best Google platform capabilities to the open Lakehouse. So we are soon launching Iceberg REST catalog implementation as generally available. This will provide interoperability for your Iceberg data across all compatible engines. We are bringing BigQuery's advanced runtime capabilities, partitioning capabilities on Iceberg tables. We are adding support for multi-table transactions, CDC, change data capture, to build your Iceberg Lakehouse for advanced ETL use cases. We are doing GA of Lightning Engine in Spark. We already have it in serverless. It'll be coming on to Dataproc. We are previewing unified Iceberg tables early next year, which will deliver the read-write interoperability while providing BigQuery's differentiated capabilities. Finally, we'll continue to evolve the platform to be compatible with Iceberg v3 spec and make it resilient with features such as enterprise disaster recovery. On the Iceberg REST catalog, it is an upcoming feature. It offers interoperability for all Iceberg tables across different engines, including BigQuery, Spark, OSS engines, as well as third-party Iceberg-compatible engines. We are adding standalone Big Lake experience as well as unified access controls through built-in support for credential vending and enhanced fine-grained access controls. In 2026, we are planning to connect to custom or third-party Iceberg REST catalogs using Iceberg REST Catalog Federation. Big Lake tables for Apache Iceberg in BigQuery, they enable support for multi-table transactions, making it very easy to build complex ETL pipelines. This is a key gap in Apache Iceberg in the open source. Customers are finding this very valuable for use cases such as GDPR, inventory, financial table updates, and more. This feature is already available in preview for you to use today. Another important area we are investing in Iceberg is performance. BigQuery tables in Iceberg. BigQuery Iceberg tables already provide industry-leading performance with built-in adaptive clustering and previously mentioned CMeta index support. Building on this, we are now bringing support for partitioning on the Iceberg tables as well as advanced runtime. So these features are going to be available very soon in preview. Another key feature we are excited about is the unified Iceberg table. With this, we will have a single Iceberg table that you can read and write using BigQuery as well as any Iceberg compatible engine. So today, our customers find value in the differentiated BigQuery features they get on Iceberg, such as high throughput streaming and multi-table transactions. But when they use it with open source engines, they get only read support, not read-write. So with the unified Iceberg tables, we are going to bridge this gap. So this is going to give you best of both worlds, which is full BQ differentiation combined with full read-write interoperability of Iceberg. This will be preview in Q1 timeframe. Last but not the least, similar to BigQuery, we are heavily investing in making Spark as the most optimal engine on top of Lakehouse. For your most performant, critical, and cost-sensitive workloads, we recently introduced Lightning Engine, which supercharges Spark performance. It's available as GA in serverless, coming up soon on Dataproc. We are seeing up to 4.3x performance improvement on TPCH like benchmarks compared to open source Spark. These are enabled by features such as optimized storage connectors, a columnar shuffle. We have inbuilt intelligent caching mechanism as well as a vectorized execution engine built with native C++ libraries like Velox and Gluten. And this is just the beginning. We have a very strong roadmap for Spark over the next 12 months. I'll hand it over to you, Shrikant.
Thank you, Neeraja. Hello, everyone. I'm Shrikant Desikan. I lead the product management team for our core and advanced analytics, which includes AI and ML platform, data science, search, and vector search. So let me walk you through the key roadmap items that we have over the next 6 to 8 months. The key things that I wanted to highlight in our area are notebook enhancements. So we have made significant efforts to improve the productivity for data scientists and data engineers through our notebook enhancements. We'll be talking a little bit about a new category of functions that we are introducing called the AI functions. We're also going to talk about a little bit about the semantic reasoning functions as part of our AI infrastructure. We'll also discuss times FM forecasting, which allows you to generate forecasts by just providing an input time series without having to build and train models. We'll talk a little bit about autonomous embedding generation, and then finally, hybrid search. So let me dive into each of these and give you a preview of what each of these means to you and the key benefits. So let's start with notebook enhancements. Our approach to user interface and productivity is to continuously improve the enhancements for data scientists, data engineers, and practitioners. To that end, our first thing is around the code assist. We have inline chat and error explanations and error fixing, as well as agents embedded into it. We have refreshed our UI to declutter the navigation and controls. We have updated the design code. We are introducing SQL cells, which I think is a very new concept that everyone would be really delighted about. You can now edit and execute purpose-built SQL and Python with interoperability and chained execution. And then we are also launching visualization cells, where you can bind a SQL cell output and pandas data frames, and then have configurable chart types, inline filtering, and a full screen cell mode. Let's talk a bit about the AI functions. Some of you may have been using these functions, which were launched in preview earlier this year. They are now GA. And part of the value of these functions is to allow you to invoke LLMs from within SQL. So the first class of functions that you see here is AI generate table, and it illustrates how you can leverage GenAI capabilities within SQL. Now, this is a function where it allows you to bridge unstructured data in your tables in BigQuery and leverage the power of a generative model like Gemini. Now, before we had this function, our customers were converting large volumes of text using cloud functions and a variety of custom-built pipelines. And this removes the need for brittle custom code and allows you to directly invoke LLMs from within these functions. Now, we also have a class of functions which with AI.generate with schematized output. We also have the ability for you to tailor these functions within the SQL query by using AI generate bool, AI generate int, and AI generate double. These are in GA right now. Now, the next class of functions I want to talk about is the semantic reasoning functions, or what we call as task-specific functions. And you can use these functions for common analytics tasks within your SQL queries. And the first one is AI filter. Now, you may want to combine structured and unstructured data and have the LLM return a true or false. AI.diff does just that. So for example, if you have a reviews table and a column called review with unstructured data, within the same SQL statement that you're familiar with, you can invoke the AI.if function and pass in a prompt and then pass in the column, and it will evaluate to a Boolean expression of true or false. So this is what we call as the AI filter. In addition to that, we have AI score. AI score allows you to use a ranking function in your order by clause. So in the example here, you're seeing a customer success scenario where you're showing the top 10 support interactions. We also are introducing AI.join. So you can use the AI.if expression as a join. For example, which products are included in images from my ads. So you can see here, we are joining a table called add images with products, and we are leveraging the capability of AI.if as a join condition against these tables. These are in public preview, and you can leverage these functions for both structured and unstructured data in BigQuery, as well as combining it with our object ref tables against data in GCS. Next, I want to talk a bit about the zero-shot forecasting with TimesFM. We're really excited about this model because we are leveraging the transformer-based foundation model, and this has been trained over 100 billion real-world data points. The important thing here is it generalizes really well across business domains and different frequencies of data, daily, hourly, and it's flexible. So you can forecast out to any future horizon and confidence intervals. It's also easy to use, so you just focus on the query and not in setting up models and endpoints and so on. And it's accurate, and it's fast and reliable. This is again in GA this quarter. Next, I want to talk a little bit about autonomous embedding generation. As many of you who may have played with embeddings, it is not easy. There are multiple steps, and in terms of generating and using embeddings, we are simplifying this whole approach towards embedding generation. It's available for vector search, and we are providing a fully managed embedding generation within BigQuery. It works directly with your data, and it's deeply integrated with vector and hybrid search. And it also supports first-party and third-party embedding models. So in addition to providing the autonomous embedding capabilities, we are leveraging hybrid search to make use of these embeddings. And this is hybrid search is the ability by allowing you to use regular search with the similarity search, and it increases recall and saves cost per you. So you can search for internal terms, domain-specific words, without having to train new embedding models. Hybrid search is preview in Q1 2026. Thank you.
Thanks, Sri. Hi, everyone. I'm Richard Kuzma. I'm a product manager here at Data Cloud, working on data agents and our underlying generative AI capabilities. Really excited to share some of the agent-first experiences that we are out here building. So our journey really starts with assistive capabilities. This was Gemini Code Assist in SQL, in Python, data preparation, and more. But 2025 has been the year of intelligent agents. And we're building these in a really purpose-built way to be partners for every persona within the data ecosystem, that engineer, the data scientist, the analyst, and the business user. And core to our strategy of being open is providing the tools and the APIs so you can integrate seamlessly into your own agentic ecosystems at whatever level, down to the primitives, all the way up to our existing agents as you build multi-agent architectures. So first, those assistive capabilities. Helping SQL developers move faster with SQL code completion, using Python code generation, leveraging the entire scale of BigQuery, using BigFrames and PySpark, as we've spoken to before, making sure we can help you keep your pipelines healthy with assisted troubleshooting for serverless Spark, and then making generative AI products get smarter to work better with you from curated queries and popular queries. And as we get into some of our core agentic efforts that we'll go a bit deeper into, the data engineers, the data scientists, conversational analytics for that business user, and the agent tooling so that you can compose whatever agent systems you need. I think keep in mind the things that you've seen earlier in this presentation, especially from Sri, are things we're building directly in. So agents aren't merely a bolt-on, we're co-designing the data warehouse with our data agents. And all of these are available in preview now with general availability coming soon. So first, the data engineering agent. Right, we're leveraging agentic AI for intelligent data cleaning, for transformation, for pipeline generation, but then fixing pipeline issues with AI-assisted troubleshooting, bulk operations. We're making this as extensible as possible, accessible via API, command line interface for building those custom intelligent applications and using with other agents. And we're supporting Dataform and BigQuery SQL today, Spark and Airflow coming very soon, already in preview. Now, moving on to data science. We know that data wrangling, exploration, and visualization can always use some help. And this agent can do that and more. So moving into model training, evaluation, to get you better accuracy and get you closer to production readiness faster. We're building this right into that familiar notebook environment in Consumer Colab, Vertex Enterprise Colab, as well as BigQuery notebooks. And we've really spent a lot of time working on context. So you're really working in the system you're already in, automatically pulling in relevant tables, relevant data, and leveraging the best of BigQuery ML, data frames, serverless Spark to streamline your large-scale data processing. We've got this available in key regions right now, coming out to all regions by the end of 25, GAing early next year. Now, when your business really needs to move fast and you have to empower decision makers to get insights from data faster, we want to have conversational analytics be that tool. So your analysts, your data stewards get to build close to the data to contextualize your agents with answers from Dataplex, metadata within BigQuery, usage within BigQuery, even extending to special agent instructions that are maybe custom because two teams can use the same agent in different ways. We get to govern these agents with role-based access controls. And then at chat time, leverage Gemini's advanced reasoning to handle ambiguous questions, think through the tough questions. Then with our APIs, you're able to embed these agents wherever you work through the Conversational Analytics API, MCP, ADK, Gemini CLI extensions. And this is coming across Data Cloud. So we've got it coming very shortly and now in BigQuery, but also across Looker and our operational databases. But sometimes we recognize that you need a bit more of a custom or a composable solution. So you can leverage our agent tools as a whole. So whether you want to consume directly from the MCP toolbox within ADK or the CLI, whether you want to grab foundational tools like table search and execute SQL, take advantage of some of the advanced forecasting like Times FM or contribution analysis, or you want to compose multiple agents together and you want to wrap an agent in a tool via the Ask Data Agents. So we're trying to meet you wherever you are in whatever ecosystem in the best way that works for you. Now, usually I like to do this demo live, but given the time constraints and a lot of content to cover, we'll take the video version. In this, we're going to see in BigQuery Conversational Analytics how easy it is to rapidly chat with your data for that analyst to start exploring just from a data source, how to build a high trust agent, adding extra context from Dataplex, the agent instructions, verified SQL examples with the help of Gemini, and then saving, sharing out to a business user and seeing how you can consume these agents outside of BigQuery Studio, because we know there are a lot of insights that need to be consumed by folks who don't come always to the Cloud Console. So for too long, it feels like insights have been locked away behind these analyst teams who have huge backlogs of ad hoc queries. But now it's really transformative to be able to ask these questions right in natural language. So we get answers, we get reasoning, we get charts. And you'll see we can hop in right to the studio, go to agents, and immediately we're shown all the agents that are maybe available to us, sample agents to get started, and seeing what's been published out versus maybe what's a draft to me that I'm still working on. Recognizing that we want to be able to seamlessly share and publish these agents across the entire ecosystem, wherever your users, your organization, your customers are working. So if we want to move really quickly, we'll go into the conversations, we'll use our table search, grab some of our e-commerce tables, and see all the data that's available at our fingertips. We create that conversation, see some suggestions. We're able to join across multiple tables here, see the agent's reasoning, the data, the visualizations, the charts, engage in a multi-turn back and forth conversation, and also split out these conversations. So it's possible if, maybe the analysis you do for one manager or one team is different than for another. So we want to be able to, quickly separate these out, have kind of continuous thoughts, which we're going to continue to build on the best of Google's agentic AI ecosystem, bringing in things like memory in the future to learn as we go. Now, to get even higher accuracy, we want to create a customized agent. This is one we'll be able to share outside of Cloud Console. So we'll again select our tables here, but now we can go deeper. We can start improving accuracy. We can start seeing what metadata we do have already versus what metadata maybe we want to add in or change. We get suggestions from Gemini on the descriptions. We can bring in sample values for some of those high cardinality, tricky columns. And then adding in custom instructions, because maybe there are golden ways you do a certain type of analysis or preferences and how you want answers given. And then really important are these golden SQL, these verified queries. So your agent really knows what questions are most important. We can ground on that, make that extremely, extremely accurate. Of course, you want to test your agent and start playing with it right here. So we can go ahead and do that. We can start asking our questions, validate that this is giving me the answers that I want, that I feel good about it, go back to tune. And when I'm ready, I'll save, I'll publish that out, and I'll be able to bring this to whatever teams, whatever users, whatever groups that I need to access this data, that need to get those insights much, much faster. So as we close this out, we can see, right, I've got a whole catalog of agents available to me right here. So different agents for different use cases, different teams, and then being able to move to Looker Studio Pro to go right in and get insights if I'm not maybe a SQL native. So some really exciting capabilities here that we're looking forward to bringing to you wherever you're at. But with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague Chai to talk governance and security.
Sure. That was really exciting conversation about agents. My name is Chaitanya Paidimukula, short for Chai. I head the Dataplex Universal Catalog and BigQuery sharing capabilities at Google Cloud. So let me talk about all the exciting things that we've been doing from a Dataplex Universal Catalog standpoint, and how are we bringing the governance and security capabilities right within BigQuery. First of all, what is happening in the industry is the metadata management, the standard catalogs, our static catalogs, are evolving to be a real-time metadata intelligence layer, and they are becoming active catalogs. So as core part of Dataplex Universal Catalog, we are launching Knowledge Engine. What Knowledge Engine does is, it actually, the sole purpose of Knowledge Engine is to be able to power any context for agents, which actually is reliable, trustworthy, and scalable, so that any number of agents can come take this context and deliver the responses that the users need. For example, I think Richard was demonstrating the conversational analytics agent, that actually uses Dataplex Knowledge Engine to actually power the context. The second enhancement that we have made, or the biggest improvement that we've made, is discovery with natural language. When the agents come in, whether it's agents or data stewards or business users in the organization, one of the most important things that they need to do is find the right trustworthy assets, data and AI assets that in the organization, to actually use them in your reporting, in your agentic use cases, in AI workloads. So I think we are launching semantic search. We are also bringing in an experience for business users. Till now, the traditional Dataplex Universal Catalog user experience has been geared towards technical data stewards and technical folks. What we have done is we have built a business experience outside of Google Cloud Console, where your businesses can go in and start interacting and discovering the valuable data and AI assets. And lastly, one of the biggest improvements that we have made, or biggest features that we are launching, is data products. I think what customers need is to logically organize the data, and then also organize it in such a way that they can solve for a specific business use case. So we are launching data products which will allow users to actually mix and match any data assets that are already there in Dataplex Universal Catalog, and then curate them and share them across the organization in a scalable and a secure fashion. Last but not least, we are actually launching Security Center, a single place in BigQuery, so that you can actually look at your security posture, manage your row and column policies, tags, and everything. So I will actually dive a little bit deeper into each of these things. First, knowledge engine. What agents need today is agents need context. This context has to come, this context has to be real, it has to be trustworthy, it has to be scalable, and it has to be secure. So one of the key things that we have done is we have actually built out this knowledge engine, which actually can take your static metadata, lay it in a metadata graph, and then allows you to enrich the metadata graph with user inputs or through LLMs. We use Gemini to enrich the metadata graph, and then finally you can actually retrieve this context in real time for your agents. So this is a core part of Dataplex Universal Catalog, and the key things is it can store business semantics, and it can supply the business semantics for the Looker semantic model. Or if you are doing personalization and using Vertex Memory Engine, it actually can help remember the context and everything and supply it, so that your agents are serving those users with keeping the context and personalization capabilities in the background. So the knowledge engine forms a crucial part of the Dataplex Universal Catalog, which actually enables and turns the static catalog into a dynamic catalog. Then I talked about semantic search. We used to have keyword-based search where you have to actually go and say, this is my table name, this is my column name. Now with semantic search, you can actually talk to your data asset real estate in natural language, and then it will bring you the relevant results. It includes your glossary terms, includes your data assets, includes any other entity types that you have aspects, and then it actually provides a enterprise-wide range of so resources that are in your GCP. It can be databases, it can be BigQuery, any data asset that is, or AI asset that is harvested by Dataplex Universal Catalog, you can actually use natural language. And I think we also have a MCP support for this, which allows for your agents to connect to Dataplex Universal Catalog and then discover all the rich data assets that you have in natural language, so that you can start building those agentic interactions. I talked about the business experience. We have a user experience today within the Cloud Console. What we are doing is we want to get closer to the business, because one of the key asks from our customers has been they want to actually use a business experience on top of Dataplex. So this allows your business users and business stewards to actually go into another experience which is not in Google Cloud Console, and then it's based on self-service. You can actually, the same semantic search capabilities are available. There is actually authorization capabilities where you actually can subscribe to what data assets you want to see, and then it'll allow you to expand on this experience. So you can take this experience and actually add your own customization capabilities to serve your business needs. Data products. I think the key thing about data products is think of it as a curated, packaged, easily discoverable asset that you have. So if you take a BigQuery table and you take a Spanner table and you want to build a data product, you can actually do that. Or if you have a bunch of BigQuery tables and you want to create a data product, you can actually logically group them together, and you can, it'll allow you to show the metadata propagation, lineage. There will be quality rules on the data products. It also will offer data contracts, which allow you to say this is the SLAs that these data products have to meet to be able to make it shareable across the enterprise. And then we also are adding approval workflows to these data products, where you have a publisher who can publish a data product, and then a subscriber who can come and subscribe to the data products. So that is actually coming in preview in Q4. And then in 2026, we will actually be able to solve for all data assets and AI assets within Dataplex. And then it also will be integrated with Marketplace, so that you can actually go into the Marketplace and then you can look at the data products that are published and you can subscribe to the data products. One more important thing about data products is that your agents, you don't have to now open up the entire data real estate that you have for agents. Data products provides you a very, very secure fashion where you can only share certain amount of data sets, and then you can start building agents on top of data products. So that is the primary purpose of data products. We are excited to be announcing data products. Please keep an eye on it. On the security side, we have done a lot of things. First is, I think we have consolidated and built something called Security Center. So if you look at the traditional BigQuery, where you manage row policies, column-based policies, tagging, sensitive data detection, and all that stuff was a little bit more fragmented. So we brought all of these things together under one umbrella called Security Center, which allows you to go into one place to look at all of your row and column policies together. Not only that, we have integrated with our security command center to actually give you a comprehensive security posture of your BigQuery. And on top of it, we have added capabilities around column policies, and I'll talk about data governance tags also. The security center is the key. It's a single stop shop for anybody to actually first gain visibility into your entire security posture. It'll improve productivity because you are not actually going to each table, and you can have millions of tables, but you will go to one place to configure your column and row based policies. And it streamlines the entire security management into one single experience. And lastly, I wanted to talk about policy tags and governance tags. Policy tags are the ones that actually helps you to manage your policies on rows and columns. We are actually added governance tags. Both policy tags and governance tags are supported. Governance tags are slated for Q1 of next year. So policy tags will be supported, and governance tags is the next evolution of policy tags. With that, let me jump into data integration, specifically what we are doing in data integration. First of all, our key goal is to actually make it very easy for you to ingest, transform data in BigQuery or in your open lakehouse environment. So what we have done is we have invested into connectors. We have invested into comprehensive pipeline capabilities, which allow you to do ELT transformations at scale. And then we are actually bringing in a unified way of data onboarding, orchestration, and a single place to look at all your pipelines, all your data integration pipelines in a single place within BigQuery. So on the connector side, we continue to invest and evolve our connector landscape. So we just launched all the key database connectors, Salesforce, Facebook, and Google Analytics. We are also going to be launching SQL Server, Stripe, and PayPal this end of this year. And then we have a ton of connectors that are coming that will enable any BigQuery user to go in and just onboard the data. All these connectors are part of the data transfer service. So as you can see, there is this, and this is not even the comprehensive list. We have many more connectors that are coming. We have introduced pipelines. I think Richard had touched upon the data engineering agent. And one of the key things that data engineering agent does is to generate a pipeline. And this is a visual pipeline builder that is already in your in BigQuery, where you can actually start building your ELT pipelines, your sources, and your transformations. It is completely integrated with Git so that you can do lifecycle management. And you can go beyond transformations. You can actually do data quality. So what you can do is, if you have a data quality rule that is defined in Dataplex Universal Catalog, you can actually embed it within this pipeline, or vice versa. And then you can actually have ways to promote CI/CD, where you can take a pipeline from development environment to test to production and run these pipelines at scale, orchestrate them, and run them at scale as part of the schedule. The other thing that we have done for BigQuery data loading is, one is we have a pipeline and connections hub. So there is one single place where you can go and look at all your pipelines that you have. And this includes your composer DAGs, your notebooks, your data preparation, all the data form pipelines, everything in single place, where you don't have to go anywhere, and you can look at all the pipelines and connections. The second thing that we have done is we have streamlined the data onboarding. So what this means is, we can actually, you have a single place where you can discover all your data sources and data loading solution in a single interface. And then you can actually say, hey, I want to onboard this Salesforce data into BigQuery, and then it'll actually walk you through the ingestion mechanism. So a lot of exciting things that are happening in the governance, security, and integration space. I'll hand over it to Sean, who will go over streaming.
Thank you, Chai. Right on time. Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Kulandevel, and I lead the product management team for streaming products, Cloud PubSub, Dataflow, and Managed Kafka. Thank you for joining us today, and extremely excited to share a little bit about our roadmap. So let's start with Cloud Pub Sub, which is our simple, serverless, and fully managed messaging platform for ingestion and streaming analytics. We recently launched something called JavaScript UDFs that gives you a powerful way to attach lightweight transformations to your PubSub topics and subscriptions. This allows you to enrich and transform your streaming data in Cloud PubSub. We are now building on that platform to bring support for AI functions, specifically ML inferencing using Vertex AI endpoints directly to PubSub. This gives you a new dimension to your data to AI journey and allows you to enrich your streaming data with Vertex AI capabilities. On the ease of use side, we are going to be launching Bigtable subscriptions, which gives you a single-click, zero ETL mechanism to ingest data into Bigtable to enable your operational use cases. We are also working on enabling cross-region replication for disaster recovery use cases for those demanding enterprise workloads. Switching on to managed service for Apache Kafka, we launched a brand new V1 service into general availability last year to support your mission critical workloads that are today using Apache Kafka. Since launch, we've seen tremendous adoption and momentum, both in terms of features that we are launching and customer interest. For example, MadHive, an ad tech company, runs their entire mission critical application stack on top of the managed servers that we launched. So we recently launched a Kafka Connect service, which allows you to integrate operational analytical data into your Kafka system into GA. We launched a number of security and enterprise features, including support for VPC service controls, MTLS authentication, and Kafka ACL support. We are building on that platform, and we'll continue to expand the breadth of connectors that are available as part of the Kafka Connect service so that you're able to integrate with more and more of your analytical and operational systems into your Kafka stack. We are also going to take the Kafka Schema Registry service, which is currently in preview, into GA next year. We'll continue to enhance the enterprise capabilities, including broker config management, support for public IP addresses, and compliance features so that you're able to bring some of your mission critical workloads to the managed service for Apache Kafka. With that, let's switch gears and talk about Dataflow ML, which is a unified batch and streaming data processing platform. Many of you today use Dataflow for your large-scale ETL and ML data processing pipelines, and many of you over the last few years have had a need to integrate ML inferencing into your data pipelines. Now, that could be for use cases like model evaluation or distillation or things like RAG architecture. To support these use cases, we launched support for ML accelerators, specifically NVIDIA GPU and TPUs in your pipeline, so that you're able to offload these heavy-duty ML inferencing stages of your pipeline to ML accelerators. Given the capacity constraint and lack of abundant availability of these resources, we've invested in giving you capacity management capabilities, including dynamic queuing that allows you to obtain and effectively use these resources. On the roadmap side, we are focused on giving you advanced capabilities that will allow you to maximize efficiency and manage these pipelines at scale. For example, we are launching support for pause resume batch jobs that will allow you to pause these large-scale jobs, make corrections to your code or to the underlying infrastructure, and resume these jobs. We are launching support for speculative execution, which will result in a performance boost, support for automatic dead letter queues that will allow you to send failed work items to a separate queue that can be processed later on. And then finally, on the core streaming side, so we've launched Iceberg IO support last year, and since then we've added a number of advanced features like support for dynamic table creation and dynamic destination, some of the common features that Dataflow users expect. We also launched support for fast updates, which allows you to do non-disruptive parallel updates for your streaming pipelines. From a roadmap standpoint, we are very focused on bringing ML inferencing workloads to streaming. ML inferencing workloads require a different treatment from regular data processing workloads that are on Dataflow. We're reimagining the streaming stack from ground up including optimizations to our scheduling layers, to our auto-scaling algorithms, to our sharding algorithms, so that we are able to better support ML inferencing workloads in streaming. And then lastly, we are bringing agentic AI to data flow in terms of giving you MCP endpoints that you can easily integrate with your agents so that you're able to manage and operate your data flow, batch and streaming pipelines. And thanks again for joining us. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Mohit.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm Mohit. I lead the migrations effort product management for our data analytics. Let me just jump right in. We have a few upcoming releases on our migration side. We classify them into three different buckets. One is what helps you plan and prepare for a migration. So to that end, we have automated discovery assessments and TCO. And we are landing focus sources, Cloudera, Snowflake, Databricks, very shortly between Q4 and Q1. We also have a public preview of source lineage for all the sources that the migration services supports, which is more than 17 sources, as GA in Q2. We have existing Teradata enhancements or existing Teradata assessments where we are adding several enhancements, including doing granular workload clustering and adding ETL information. This will help your assessment to be a one-stop shop, fully automated for answering all migration planning related questions. So assessments, just for context, right? What we've done is we've built them in a way where you get a report and you can generate insights from the report and you can optimize your migration strategy. What we have also done in the recent past is we've added total cost of ownership and value analysis, which means that now you have a very clear path from wherever you are, whatever sources your current data warehouse is sitting on, or data processing engine is sitting on. You get a landed mapped state on data analytics, and you get a TCO with a detailed understanding of the underlying cost drivers. What will be the total cost of ownership and what will be the benefits of moving to data analytics? On the source lineage side, this is a fully capable product with UI and several levels of detailed analysis on workload dependencies with a very strong visual view. And this is intended for two purposes. One, for you to understand your source systems as you're planning a migration. And the second is to also be able to map out dependencies projected as your workload lands on data analytics. The second part of migration services are the core services, which is the workload migration as well as data and metadata migration. To that end, we are launching Databricks to BigQuery workload, data, and metadata migration in preview in Q1. We are also launching Snowflake to BigQuery code and data as generally available in Q1. These are available in preview today. We are also working on a fully integrated end-to-end validation. And I'll cover it in a little bit of detail in the next slide. Finally, we are also doing Cloudera to GCS migrations for workload, data, and metadata, and that is going to be GA in the next quarter. On the integrated end-to-end validation, we are looking at combining data validation. Simple data validation does checksum-based comparisons, but what we're doing is we are working towards a bottom-up approach where we validate the data, we validate the code that's running on top of data, and then we generate a proof of correctness, not based on just data sampling, but on is the workload able to execute correctly. With that, I'll hand it over to Geeta.
That's all the time that we had today. So thank you all for attending the roadmap session today, and hope you have a good rest of the day.